We are back in Jersey City for Game 2 of our doubleheader between NJCU and TCNJ. The Lions took the first game 4-0, and Ray Ligori, the freshman right-hander, who was in the game at the plate as a pinch hitter when the first game ended with the bases loaded, will be on the mound to start Game 2. The Gothic Knight rookie right-hander gets the start, and first pitch, ball 1, now ball 2. Ligori for NJCU, freshman, 6 foot, 220 pounds, 2-1 on the season with a 2.30 ERA, 25 strikeouts, 18 walks in 31 and a third innings. He's behind the first batter, John Rizzi, in a very similar lineup for TCNJ in Game 2, 3-0. And he walks Rizzi on 4 pitches. Taking a look at the lineup summary, Rizzi will be followed by the third baseman Patrick Anderson. Patrick Roberts, the right fielder, bats third, and Garen Turner, the DH, is the cleanup hitter. Zach Schindler, the shortstop, bats fifth. Alex Christian, the first baseman, he bats sixth with Matt Fakis in the game for the first time. He catches in Game 2 and hits seventh. Mike Follett, the left fielder, hits eighth. Ben Verone, the second baseman, will bat ninth. And after the fifth straight ball to open the game, the umpire will allow C.J. Pulsini to come out and have a quick chat with Ray Ligori. Defensively for the Gothic Knights, Pulsini still behind the plate. It's been a long day of work for him catching both games, as he is behind the dish for Ray Ligori. Dan Berardi, who was the DH in the first game, he'll start at first base. Jeff Reinecke, who came on as a pinch hitter in the first game, he plays second base. Nick Delgado's at short, Zach Buchholz at third, Nick Racino, and we'll talk more about him in just a moment, as he reached a milestone in that ninth inning that we did not mention. I do indeed need to mention the throw down to second, and not in time, as stealing second base is John Rizzi, and a 2-ball count here to Anderson. Racino's in left, in center field, Dimitri Ruger, and the right fielder is Joe Catino. The umpire in this game is Tom Beck. Jerry Bulligitz, who was behind the dish in Game 1, is now in the field. So a little adversity here already, as Ligori, with a man at second, has thrown 6 straight balls to open the game. And that is now 7. On the other end, it'll be Joe Cirillo getting the ball for the Lions in Game 2. He's 5-1 with 2 shutouts, 1 complete game, and a 2.45 ERA. Gothic Knights have not scored in 21 innings, and now have given up back-to-back 8-pitch walks.
Now batting the right fielder, number 49.
Or back-to-back 4-pitch walks, 8 pitches total, all out of the zone for Ray Ligori. I'll bring up Pat Roberts. That was the first strike of the game by Ligori. The 0-1 is also, that looked pretty good. Oh, they do call it a strike. A delayed call here by Beck, the umpire. So, no balls and 2 strikes. Ligori deals, and that's hit to left field. In comes Racino on the line, makes the catch. And that is out number one. Nick Racino. In that ninth inning, the one-out hit was the 100th of his career in 89 games. He becomes the 40th player in program history to reach that milestone, doing so in just 89 career games. You're basically talking about only other active man on the roster with 100 career hits. Andrew Nish, who's in a terrible slump now, 1 for 28 against NJAC pitching. He's sitting on 185 career hits. Garen Turner looks at strike one here in the top of the first. Big lead for Rizzi at second. Foul pitch off of the hand of the umpire. I think and you can see him shaking it off. Tom Beck got hit on the wrist or on maybe the top of the hand there by that foul ball. And a little courtesy here. CJ Polsini going to walk out and have a chat with Ray Ligori to allow the umpire to recover from that one. You can see him flexing his hand here. Anybody who's been there knows that is an unpleasant feeling. Ground ball. Buchholz is going to make a throw to the plate, and the tag is applied by Polsini, who has some choice words for John Rizzi, who ran into him there. So the shortstop, Schindler, will step in. He's now hitting .412 on the year. Throw back to first, and diving in safely is Turner. So after Rizzi and Anderson, and we missed that before, had a double steal to get in scoring position, this one was in the dirt. And Turner will advance to second. Again, runners on second and third, but now 2 away. And there'll be, I believe, an intentional walk here to Schindler. So Schindler, who's hitting .422, will be put on base, and they'll go after Christian instead. We'll see if this move pays off as an intentional walk. Base is now loaded with 2 out for the first baseman, Christian. And that is the danger of walking the bases loaded. There's no room for error, and Christian was hit by a pitch. And the Lions lead 1-0. That move just backfired on the Gothic Knights.
Now batting the catcher, number 9, Matt Fakis.
Swing and a miss to the catcher, Matt Fakis, who is making his first bat of the day as the Lions switched catchers. Gerhardt was the catcher, C.J. Gerhardt, in the first 9 innings in Game 1. Throw it back to second. Schindler's in safely. The 1-1. Hit in the air, center field. Dimitri Ruger is there. He makes the catch. And the Lions leave the bases loaded on the line out to center, but not before TCNJ strikes first. They didn't have a hit. 2 walks, an intentional walk, and a hit batter. And it's 1-0. Here's the lineup for the Gothic Knights in Game 2. Dimitri Ruger will lead off and play center field. Joe Coutinho will now bat second. He's in right. Zach Buckholtz, the third baseman, hits third. And Nick Rossino, the left fielder, is the cleanup hitter. Dan Berardi, the first baseman, will bat fifth. Jeff Reineke, the second baseman, hits sixth. Here's the story of the game for the Gothic Knights. Andrew Nish, in a 1-for-28 slump against NJAC pitching, has been slid down from the 2 and 3 spot in previous games to the 7th spot in this game to see if that can get him going. CJ Paulsini will bat 8th. He catches. Nick Legato, the shortstop, bats 9th. Defensively for TCNJ, Joe Cirillo will throw to Matt Fakis. Christian at first, Verone at second, Schindler at short, Anderson at third. Follett's in left, Rizzi in center, Roberts plays right, and Ruger shows bunt on the first pitch that he sees today in Game 2. And the 0-1 pitch by Cirillo, who throws hard, that is fouled away. Final scores from around the NJAC in our earlier games, all games now final. Rutgers Camden on the road in Mahwah handed number 1 ranked Ramapo just their second loss of the year, 6-3. Rowan all over Montclair State by a score of 9-2. That's outside 1-2. Kane edges Rutgers Newark at home 9-7. And Stockton was able to knock off William Patterson on the road by a score of 3-2. That's fouled away. So that means that the only home teams to win in the early games today were Rowan and Kane. You have 3 road teams all won. 1-2. That's outside. 2-2. It also means that the win over Stockton leaves NJCU as the only team without a win in the conference right now. That is low. It's 3-2. Good eye by Ruger. Now, on the plus side, though, if you look at the schedule, for the most part, the Knights have the bottom as a slow roller. Cyril out, scoops it up, flips to first, out number 1. I'll bring up Joe Catino. Gothic Knights, with the exception of Rutgers Newark, who they played earlier,
Number 18, Joe Catino.
have a favorable schedule if you look at the current NJAC standings. They have Montclair, Rowan, Stockton, and William Patterson in front of them. All teams right now on the bottom half for the most part in the league standings. So, still a lot of baseball to be played this year. That's low. Nice pitch by Cirillo. That curved onto the outside corner. Fantastic location. And it's 1-1. As a fastball in the dirt. And the count now full at 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. Slow ground ball over to Schindler. The throw from the shortstop just in time to retire Catino.
Now batting the third baseman, number 13, Zach Buckles.
He'll bring up Zach Buckholz, hitting .282 on the year. The Gothic Knights have not scored in 21 consecutive innings. And they're facing 2 of the Lions' better pitchers, and that is hit down the right field line. This is where the weather's coming back to hurt NJCU. Most Sunday of last week. But NJCU was supposed to go to Rowan last Sunday. Could not because there was literally snow on the field there. Because of that, TCNJ is able to throw its best pitchers as Buckholz swings and misses at the curveball in on the hands of Buckholz by Cirillo. And to finish that thought, TCNJ was able to start potentially its 2 best pitchers here in Cirillo and Volpe today. Gothic Knights have to be a little more careful with their rotation because they got 2 games to play tomorrow at Rowan. So right now, 1-0 TCNJ as the Lions set down the Gothic Knights in order in the first. We head to the second. And the first pitch here in the second inning, Mike Follett lines it right at Jeff Reineke at second base for out number 1, who had played some really good defensive second base himself in game number 1. After a great play there by Jeff Reineke. Vrone hitting .355 in the year. He's the number 9 hitter in the lineup as the Lions batted 7 men to the plate in the first. 3 of them walked, 1 was hit by a pitch. The 1-0 pitch by Ligori. Liner on a hop to Reineke. He drops to a knee and throws to Berardi for out number 2. So 2 plays back to back, testing Reineke at second base, and back to the top of the order, John Rizzi, the center fielder, who walked and was thrown out at the plate. First pitch to Rizzi is high. That was the 3rd play at the plate to retire a TCNJ runner in this game. Nick Rossino had 2 outfield assists in the first game. As a called strike. And the 3-1 pitch is low and outside. Rizzi walks for the second time. 4th walk in the first 2 innings. And we'll see if the Lions can capitalize with 2 out and 1 on. It'll be Pat Anderson, the 3rd baseman, stepping in. He walked and scored the only run of the game. 1-0 TCNJ. We're in game 2. Lions won the opener 4-0. The second straight game NJCU has been shut out. That ball was off of the bag. Berardi actually had to dive for that one. Prevent an error from happening. Rizzi with a lead at the edge where the grass and at the edge of the grass where the grass turns, and he's able to take off there as Paulsini could not hold on to that one. I don't know if he would have had much of a throw to begin with, as Rizzi got himself a great lead, and he steals second base. That's his 2nd steal of the game. So now a runner in scoring position for the Lions. Curve falls in. 1-1. We thank those of you watching today's broadcast here on NJCUGothicKnights.com. That's a curveball, just wide. Ligori steps off. That's a fastball for a called strike. And now it's 2-2 here with 2 outs. Slow ground ball. Shortstop Legato goes through his legs and it's going to result in a run. I think he was distracted by the runner Rizzi, who had taken off on a hit and run. Rizzi scores on the error, and it's 2-0 TCNJ. They still don't have a hit.
Now batting the right fielder, number 49, Roberts.
I'll bring up the right fielder, Patrick Roberts. The Gothic Knights putting themselves in a big hole now. That's fouled off towards the TCNJ dugout. The 1-1, that's low. Two balls, one strike, 2-0 TCNJ. Hit in the air, center field. Ruger off towards the gap, reaches up, makes the catch, and the inning comes to a close. But not before the Lions strike again. 1 run. There was 1 error, 1 left on. Still no hits for TCNJ, but they have the 2-0 advantage. Bottom of the second inning, 2-0 TCNJ. Nick Racino steps to the plate. He just had his 100th career hit in the last game. In his last at bat, he will now begin the chase for his next 100 hits. First pitch was a called strike. Second one is low. The 1-1. Ground ball towards third. Backhanded by Anderson. Racino races down the line, but the throw is hauled in. And Christian
Now batting the first baseman, number
squeezes the leather for out number 1.
Berardi.
1 away, it'll bring up Dan Berardi. First baseman, hitting .333. Curve is high. The 1-0, swing and a miss by Berardi. He's got 3 home runs on the year. The 1-1 offering. That's hit off the end of the bat, coming in, reaching down, and making the catch, a shoestring catch, was Verone, the second baseman.
Now batting the second baseman, number 2, Jeff Reineke.
So with 5 up and 5 down, Jeff Reineke will step in. 0-1. That's outside. Swing and a miss. And Reineke goes down on strikes. Second straight inning that Cirillo was able to strike out the third batter to end the frame. The Gothic Knights have gone down in order both innings. They trail 2-0. Third inning, and Ray Ligori will face the designated hitter Garen Turner, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. That's low. 2 balls, no strikes here. Ligori has already walked 4 batters in this game. Swing and a miss. No hits for either side yet. Both TCNJ runs were the results of walks. The second run, however, scored on an error. As a called strike, it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. Ligori deals. Slow ground ball. Reineke fields, throws to first in time. That's out number 1. I'll bring up the shortstop, Schindler. Schindler was intentionally walked in the first inning, and then the very next batter, Alex Christian, was hit by a pitch. Fastball called strike. Schindler, 6'2", 195-pounder out of Wantagh, New York. That's a called strike. I guess he called that one high, so 1-1. Good to me, but 1-1 is the count here. Ligori will deal. That's line towards center field, but right at Dimitri Ruger. So he hit that right at Dimitri Ruger. For the record, Schindler's the only player outside the state of New Jersey. NJCU is all players from within the Garden State. After a first pitch strike, Ligori is able to paint the corner again, and it's 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, that's in the dirt. You kind of could have anticipated that one. Trying to get Christian chasing. That is bounced probably about 5 feet in front of home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Slow roller. Up the first base side. LaGuardia will have to hurry. And his throw is to the inside of the runner, right spot for Dan Berardi. As Christian is retired 1-3. And the inning comes to a close. No runs, no hits, nobody left. 2-0 TCNJ through 2.5. Back here for the bottom of the third inning, Andrew Nish trying to break out of his slump. The designated hitter, he is now hitting 7th, but his average down to 318. That is un-Andrew Nish-like. Fastball in the inside corner. Strike 1 to the left-handed hitting Nish. The 0-1, that's check swing foul. So the 0-2 to Nish, the leadoff hitter here in the third, I should say. The number 7 hitter is Nish. Low. Strike 3 looking. And Nish goes down looking. That's the 3rd strikeout for Cirillo. Back-to-back strikeouts. And Pulsini, the catcher, will hit for NJCU. First pitch to Pulsini, curves outside. Slow ground. Shortstop. Schindler throws Nick Legato, the shortstop. The number 9 hitter, as the Gothic Knights have had 8 up and 8 down. Check some scores from around the league. All of these now in the second Mawa. Scoreless, that's in the top of the third. Top of the third in Wayne, William Patterson, and Stockton also scoreless. Rowan has a 1-0 lead over Montclair State in the bottom of the first inning in Glassboro. Kane in the top of the second leads Rutgers Newark 2-1. The 1-1 pitch to Legato, swing and a miss. A 1-2 here. Cirillo's worked effectively. 36 pitches, 23 strikes. The 1-2 bounces in front of the plate, even at 2-2. Joe Cirillo, 6'1", 185-pound sophomore right-hander from Fairfield, New Jersey, went to DePaul Catholic High School. Outside corner strike, 3 looking to Legato. Second batter struck out looking this inning. 4 strikeouts now for Joe Cirola, who has a no-hitter and a perfect game through 3. Top of the 4th inning in Jersey City, 2-0 TCNJ. Matt Fakis, first pitch hit down the right field line. It is a foul ball into the corner. Fakis hitting just 207. Lined out to Ruger in center field in the first inning. Ground ball through the left side for a base hit. First hit of the game for either team.
Now batting the left fielder, number 11, Mike Follett.
Follett shows bunt. It's low. Again, shows bunt. Ligori to first, and the sacrifice is effective. So a 1-3 sack. It's a second, and with 1 away, it'll bring up the second baseman, Ben Verone. On a long day of baseball, a nearly 2.5-hour first game, 30-minute break for lunch, and now another 9-inning game. You sometimes need to find ways to entertain yourself, and mastering the art of spinning a baseball on her finger. That is low. If she can really get this down, we may have her perform during the 7th-inning stretch. That is a good point. Anne-Marie said it's a good day when she's bored. That means nobody needs any kind of medical attention or treatment. Ground ball. Legato looks at second, throws to first. That's out number 2. So it's 6-3. Fakis does not advance, and it'll bring up the center fielder John Rizzi, who's walked twice and scored once. That is a great point, though. We want our athletic trainer to be bored and pale. That means that you haven't had to run out into the sun to treat anybody. Nobody's injured. Nobody needs ice. And she just knocked on wood. We probably just totally jinxed that. So far, the only person who's been banged up in this game has been the home plate umpire, Tom Beck, who took a foul ball off of his right hand. Top of the fourth inning here in Jersey City. TCNJ on top of NJCU in Game 2 by a score of 2-0. They have 1 hit and no errors. The Gothic Knights, no runs, no hits, 1 error. NJCU has not scored in now 24 consecutive innings. First pitch to Rizzi is low for ball 1. Corey's thrown 61 pitches, 28 strikes, 33 balls. That curved back over the plate. Looked for a second that it was going to be inside, and then it had nice spin there. Good looking curve there from Ligori. So 1 ball, 1 strike with Matt Fakis at second. Round ball to Buchholz at third. His throw right on the money, and the inning comes to a close. So a 5-3 ground out by Rizzi. And after the leadoff hit, 1 left on. We head to the bottom of the fourth, 2-0 TCNJ. Bottom of the fourth inning in Jersey City. Cirillo has mowed down the Gothic Knights. 4 strikeouts in the first 9 batters. He's retired everybody he's faced, 9 in a row. Second time through the order, it'll be Dimitri Ruger as my voice comes back. And he looks at strike 1. And that's lined over the head of the shortstop for a base hit. So Dimitri Ruger takes care of that with a leadoff single. And, the second time through, you've had a chance to see this pitcher who not everybody has faced before. See him for the second time, and that leads to a base hit by Ruger. So it's a single by Ruger. It'll bring up Joe Catino. And he ground into a 6-3 ground out to short in the first inning. Throw over to first to check Ruger. Gothic Knights softball teams in action on the other side of the complex. They lost the first game to Stockton in 6 innings, 13-1. The throw back, Ruger dives in safely. That's high. Another throw back. Ruger this time is in standing. Dimitri Ruger was one of the 5 athletes we featured during D3 week. And you can see his video online on NJCUGothicKnights.com. He actually gave us so much material we had to edit it down. He told some stories about his old days playing hockey. He was a really good hockey player before specializing in baseball. How he got into the sport of baseball, really because of his older brother. That's why he wanted to play collegiately. His older brother played at Trinity in Connecticut. very good school in the NESCAC. And then obviously with Dimitri, the most notable story is the recovery that he made from a freak injury in what would have been his true freshman year. Another throw back to first, and Ruger's in standing. For those who don't know the story, Ruger came in to the program in 2014 with Nick Racino, both out of Teaneck High School. And in a game in Florida during the spring trip, 4 games into the season, time was called, so no pitch. After the Gotham Knights had finished the game, NJCU was sitting in the main stadium in the seats while Yale was warming up. And one of the players for Yale made a bad overthrow into the crowd, and Dimitri Ruger was minding his own business as that one was fouled away and got hit right underneath the eye by the loose ball, and the bad throw broke his orbital bone. And we told the story. I mean, I try not to get squeamish too often. That is a tough injury. The 1-2. And that's high. And at first, I mean, he didn't really think anything of it. He thought he would just be able to shake it off, and ended up being dizzy. And, you know, obviously, once there's blood and it was in his sinuses, you know that there's something that needs medical attention, and he eventually went to the hospital, and it's a good thing he did. And that's one of those injuries that if you don't get treatment in a quick enough time, you could potentially have some damage to your eye or your eye socket. It can potentially lead to an infection. So, swing and a miss at a curve off the plate, and Cerullo wins the battle with Coutinho, his 5th strikeout. It'll bring up Zach Buchholz.
Number 13, Zach Buchholz.
And then Dimitri obviously made a full recovery. He had the medical red shirt after his freshman year. Was able to play full freshman year last year after the medical red shirt, and was one of the top rookies in the NJAC last year. Pitch to Buchholz, that's fouled away. In his 2015 freshman year, Ruger had 40 hits, and he scored 42 runs while stealing 28 bases. I think that's safe to say that's a pretty darn good comeback. He's got 65 hits in 64 career games. Throw back to first, and Ruger again in standing. So if he can stay healthy, we have a few players on this team that should be in the 100-hit club before their careers come to an end. Obviously, Nick Racino reached it today, the 40th player to do so. They are really checking Ruger at first. And, you know, the first baseman there, Christian, continued to apply the tag to see if Ruger would pick his hand up. He's smiling there. You'll see that sometimes in Major League Baseball now, especially with the replay rule, where they'll continue to apply the tag and somebody will move, and they'll be off the bag for just a split second, and on replay, they're calling out. There goes Ruger, and no, he does not. He fakes the run. Great stutter step as he tried to con the catcher into a throw. But Ruger should reach 100 career hits sometime next year. Zach Buchholz has an outside shot of doing it this year, otherwise likely will do so as a senior. That's ball 2. It's 2-1. Eric Giordano has like 92 career hits after 2 years. He's out this year after having surgery, so he'll have a medical red shirt and come back and play a full year. So that's 3 players right there. And Buchholz working on 100 now as he lines that into the left center gap for the second hit of the inning. So back-to-back hits sandwiched around a strikeout. And it'll bring up Nick Racino with 1 out and 2 on, and we'll see if the Gothic Knights can cut into this TCNJ lead. And Racino hits in the air to deep left field. Now the ball is tailing off, and the catch is made by the left fielder Follett. So Racino gave that one a ride, but it stopped at probably about 310 feet or so, probably about 15 feet from the fence.
Number 14, Dan Berardi.
So and Berardi to try to get at least Dimitri Ruger in, standing at second. Any hit to the outfield will score Ruger. I mean, with his speed, he's a game changer when he gets on base. A nice pitch there by Joe Cirillo. Ground ball, and taking it to the bag will be Anderson on the fielder's choice, and the Gothic Knights unable to capitalize on the hits by Ruger and Berardi. So a fielder's choice, and Ruger scores. I'm sorry, Ruger is retired, I should say, at third, 5 unassisted. That closes the frame. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left on base. It's 2-0 TCNJ as we head to the 5th. Fifth inning in Jersey City. TCNJ leads NJCU 2-0. They scored single runs in the first and the second, both without the virtue of a hit. The Gothic Knights actually have a 2-1 edge in hits right now, but they trail 2-0. First pitch to Anderson is a called strike. Ligori, then nice pitch. Grounder to short. Legato retires him 6-3. So 1 away, and it'll bring up the right fielder Patrick Roberts, who's over 2. He lined out to left field and flew out to center. Softball in game 2 is trailing Stockton 5-0. That's in the 3rd inning. Around the NJAC, 2nd inning in Union, Rutgers Newark is on top of Kane 5-2. Fastball down the middle for strike 1. Rowan in the 2nd leads Montclair 1-0. Stockton, looking for the road sweep, is on top of William Patterson in the 4th, 2-0. Ground ball backhanded by Berardi. He's going to take it to the bag himself for out number 2. And I'll bring up the designated hitter, Garen Turner.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 27, Garen Turner.
In other games, and the one I'm really interested in is what's going on up in Mahwah. Can Rutgers Camden sweep the number 1 ranked team in the country? Right now they're in the 4th inning. Ramapo and Rutgers Camden scoreless. That's in the dirt.
Did he foul the second pitch off, Gibbs? Did he foul the second pitch off?
1 ball, 2 strikes here with 2 outs in the 5th.
2 and 1.
In fact, it's 2-1. Now it's 2-2. That's fouled back right at us. So Ligori trying for his second 1-2-3 inning. Ground ball. Buchholz is there. His throw is in time, and the inning comes to a close.
Good song, good song.
2 ground outs to the left side of the infield and 1 to the right. 3 ground balls, and the Lions go in order in the 5th. 2-0. We head to the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back. Fifth inning, can NJCU chip away at this Joe Cyril 2-0 lead? First pitch to Jeff Reineke. That might be enough to get a rally going as Reineke is able to slip that through the right side of the infield. Third hit of the game for the Gothic Knights.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 24, Andrew Nish.
They'll bring up Andrew Nish in a 1 for 29 slump against NJAC pitching, but he could break out of it with one swing of the bat, and there are some fans sitting in right field right now, right behind the fence, who would love a souvenir. That is high. Nish has got 5 homers on the season. 27 RBIs. For a while, it looked like Alex Weinstein's single-season RBI record of 50 set last year was in deep trouble, but Nish has cooled off. High as well. Pretty sure Alex Weinstein is probably watching this game in his glorious new home in South Florida. So hello to Alex Weinstein, all-region first baseman for the Gothic Knights last year, watching today's doubleheader in Miami, Florida. And the word on the street is he's watching all of our games because he cannot stand watching Miami Marlins baseball. It's that bad. Either that or he's really loyal. One or the other. 2 balls and no strikes after the time. And Nish lines it right off the glove of the first baseman and down the first base line. Reineke will head to second on the hit. Nish slugs that one off of the glove. A little laugh there from the first baseman, Christian. And Andrew Nish aboard with his first hit of the day, the 186th of his career. That was hit hard, by the way. I mean, that was one that I don't know if a pro is going to grab. That's how much Nish just crushed that pitch. bunt. And doing his job there with the sacrifice was Coutinho. I said Coutinho. It was actually C.J. Pulsini with the 1-3 sacrifice bunt. And that moves Nish and Reineke into scoring position. We're going to have a pinch hitter here. And Legato, who struck out looking in the third, will be out. Taylor Bourne, as head coach Jerry Smith, is not wasting any time. He's not taking any chances. This is a game he knows the team needs to win if they have any chance in the second half of the conference schedule to get back into this race. Knights are 0-7 in the league, 13-12 overall. So I'm assuming what will end up happening, and Legato, who is out, I mentioned the strikeout looking. He also had an error that led to a run. Buchholz will probably slide over and play shortstop, and Bourne will move to third. First pitch to Bourne is ball one. So a 1-3 ground out to the pitcher on the sacrifice, and 2 runners in scoring position. That was a curve for a strike. So 1-1 by Cirillo. 61 pitches he's thrown thus far, 40 for strikes. The 1-1. And that's lined towards left center field. It's going to be in for a base hit. Reineke scores. Nish had to stand at second because there was a chance it was going to be caught. An RBI single for Taylor Bourne on the pinch hit. And
Now batting the center fielder, number 1, Dimitri Ruger.
that'll bring up Dimitri Ruger, who singled in the 4th inning in his last at bat. Another bunt by Ruger. He has a chance to beat this one out with his speed. Good play there by the pitcher. I got to score the sacrifice, even though Ruger tried to beat it out.
Joe Coutinho.
And Bourne and Nish both advance. So a 2-away, it'll bring up Joe Coutinho. That's one of those ones as an official scorer you're very cautious with because you know Ruger sometimes likes to lay down a bunt and try to beat it out with his speed, and he's done that a lot. But he advanced the runners, and he did lay down a bunt, and I think the fair thing to do there is give the benefit of the doubt to the batter and call it a sacrifice. First pitch to Coutinho is a called strike. And a pitch is going to fall into right field for a base hit by Coutinho. Nish will score. Bourne will be held at third. The Gothic Knights have tied the game on a 2-out base hit by Joe Coutinho.
Now batting the third baseman,
So an RBI single by Joe Coutinho. Bourne to third. Nish scores, and we're tied 2-2 with Zach Buchholz coming to the plate. First pitch So Buckholz fouled off to our right. The 0-1, and Buckholz pops in the air, left center. Rizzi will make the catch in the gap, and the inning comes to a close on the pop out. However, the Gothic Knights have tied it. 4 hits in the inning, 6 in the game. They score twice. They strand 2. After 5, in Jersey City, it's a 2-2 game.
Leading off for the Lions, shortstop, number 19, Schindler.
So Schindler will try to get the Lions back some offense after they gave up the 2 tying runs in the bottom of the 5th. Ira Thor with you live here in Jersey City as we bring you live baseball action here on NJCU GothicKnights.com on Gothic Vision. And that is low. And it's 2, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike, actually. First pitch was a called strike. And it's 1-1. That bounces at the feet of the left-handed hitting Schindler. Scores from around the league. Stockton now leading William Patterson 2-0. Newark on the road beating Kane 5-3. Fastball is low, and it's 3-1. Montclair State says not so fast. They've rallied, and then in the 3rd inning, they lead Rowan 4-2. And number 1 ranked Ramapo with a 1-0 lead in the 5th over Rutgers Camden. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ligori deals grounded foul into the backstop. Ligori has walked 4, but he's limited the Lions to just 1 hit. And that is ball 4.
Now batting the first baseman, number 5, Alex Christian.
That is bunted. Foul. Reineke can't get there as it goes into the NJCU bullpen. That's high on the sacrifice attempt. So it'll be 1-1 here to the first baseman, Christian. Showing bunt, drops it down. Ligori will apply the tag himself on the first base line. Schindler moves over to second base with one away.
Now batting the catcher, number 9, Matt Davis.
Matt Fakis, the catcher, now hitting .233. He's got the only hit in the game for TCNJ. That came in the 4th inning. As a curve for a strike on the outside corner. Matt Fakis, a 6'2", 205-pound senior from Florham Park, New Jersey, attended Hanover Park High School, all out in Morris County. Another nice pitch by Liguori for strike 2. And time is granted. We've mentioned before, Liguori, one of 3 outstanding recruits from Toms River South High School. The throw back to second. Oh, and it's dropped by Buckholtz. And then Ruger overruns it, but the only error is going to be on Buckholtz, allowing Schindler to advance. So an E6 muff throw. And that's outside. It's not often you get 3 outstanding players from the same high school in the same recruiting class, and that's what Jerry Smith and Nick Cesare and the Gothic Knight coaching staff was able to do here with Liguori and Nace and Carfora. And they will be a big part of this program for years to come. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Liguori deals swing and a miss. And he gets his first strikeout of the game. 2 away now.
Now batting the left fielder, number 11, Mike Follett.
So a big batter here. Can Liguori keep this game even at 2 with Mike Follett, the left fielder, at the plate, blocked by Pulsini. Follett lined to the second baseman, and he grounded out 1-3. Well, he actually sacrificed, so he's 0 for 1 officially. That's high. 2-0 here to Follett. Liguori's thrown 89 pitches so far, so he'll probably get maybe another inning or 2. At the 2-0, and that's in the air, left center. On the run, it's going to fall into the gap and roll all the way to the wall. That will score Schindler. Follett round second, on his way to third, and the throw will not be in time as it skips to Reinecke at third, and Follett has given the Lions a 3-2 lead with a triple to the gap.
Now batting the second baseman, number 1, Ben Barone.
The run obviously is earned because regardless of the error, on a triple, you're going to score. The 1-0 pitch in the air, right field. Coutinho in right center makes the catch. And the inning comes to a close. But a walk comes back to bite the Gothic Knights yet again. In the 6th, 1 run on 1 hit. There's 1 error and 1 error and 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 6th, 3-2 Lions lead. Nick Rossino will lead off for the Gothic Knights in the 6th, now trailing by 1 after they tied the game in the 5th inning. TCNJ, that was just their first hit since the 4th inning. They have 2 hits in all. Nick Rossino at the plate slaps that one foul opposite way down the right field line, and it's 0-2. The Rossino, Berardi, and Reineke, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, due up for NJCU as they bat here in the bottom of the 6th. They've out-hit TCNJ 6-2. That is low. The 1-2. That's in the air. Left field. Follett will come over, reach out, and make the catch. Stockton is leading NJCU softball in the 4th inning now. It's 10-1. It'll bring up Dan Berardi, the Gothic Knight first baseman. He popped out to second, and he's also reached on a fielder's choice. Foul back right at me, and I actually flinched for the first time all year, darn it. He got me. Unbelievable. I had gone how many games before finally getting caught? He got me. That is unfortunate. Alex Weinstein's sitting in Florida. He just spilled his drink. Berardi hits that one in the air to deep left field. And did he make the catch? He did. An unbelievable running catch by Follett as Dan Berardi is robbed of an extra base hit.
Now batting the third baseman, number 2, Jeff Reineke.
So after back-to-back lineouts, the second one robbing Berardi of at least a double, Reineke will step to the plate, and first pitch is low. Man, I was really hoping to get through the whole season without getting caught. I'm such a disappointment. I think 1-0. This is what happens when you sit there and are checking the scores from other games when you should be watching your own game. As a called strike, it's 2-1. Gothic Knight softball has scored 2 on a 2-run single by Jazz Randall, so it's now a 10-3 game. That's a called strike. Take a look at other scores from around the league in a moment here. The 2-2 pitch, ground ball up the first baseline, but it's foul. Rutgers Newark on top of Kane 6-3 now. Montclair leading Rowan 4-2. The Gothic Knights head to Glassboro tomorrow. That's outside, and it's 3-2. Stockton has added a run. They're on top of William Patterson now 3-0 in the 5th. And Rutgers Camden and number 1 ranked Ramapo top of the 6th, even at 1 apiece. Reineke pops in the air. Left side of the infield now, shallow left field. The catch is applied by Schindler, and the inning comes to a close. So in the 6th inning for the Gothic Knights, no runs, no hits, and nobody left. We head to the 7th. It's a 3-2 Lion lead. Top of the seventh inning in Jersey City. And the first pitch to John Rizzi is a called strike. What's great about the half innings is if you're trying to still eat your lunch that you couldn't really get much down during the game recess between the first and second game, you can take a couple quick bites of your delicious crack pepper turkey sandwich. Yes, crack pepper turkey sandwich, guys. It's fantastic. Of course, with the fresh mozzarella, that just adds to it. That is low. And I called a strike. A little delayed call there yet again by Tom Beck, the umpire. That is outside. So it's 3-2 here to the leadoff batter, Rizzi, and the top of the order. And that's lined towards left field, but Nick Racino, who was playing in a little bit, was well positioned, and it's lined right at him for out number one. It'll bring up Pat Anderson.
Now batting third baseman with 20, Pat Anderson.
Anderson, the third baseman, now hitting .345 on the year. He's walked, scored a run, reached on an error, and grounded to short. The error scored a run. It should have ended the second inning. Big difference in this game right now. That's fouled off to our right. Dan Berardi gives it a look, but it's into the seats. That was the 100th pitch for Ligori. 51 strikes, 49 balls. Ground ball to short. Buchholz on 3 hops. The throw in time. That's the second out. Pat Roberts, the right fielder, will come to the plate.
Fielder number 49, Patrick Roberts.
As a called strike. Roberts hitting .383. He's 0 for 3 in this game. That's low. It's 1-1. Roberts had come in hitting .390, so he's averaging a little bit on the day. Showed bunt. That's low. .104 pitches. Will Ligori throw another inning after this? We are going to have to wait and see how the coaching staff uses him. But again, 2 more 9-inning games tomorrow on the road. 3 balls, 1 strike. That's hit in the air to deep right center field. Coutinho on the run. It's going to fall into the gap. He'll have to stop at second base. Strong throw back in by Coutinho. That ball came to a rest on the fly about 10 feet from the fence.
Now batting the designated hitter number 27, Aaron Turner.
So the Lions have 3 hits, a single, a triple, and now a double. And Nick Cesare, not Jerry Smith. So Nick Cesare is going to come out and try to settle down his pitcher. First time today that Cesare has visited. That shows how well overall the Ligori's pitched. And quite frankly, the confidence that this coaching staff has in him. And with Jose Ortiz out with an injury, and we don't know for how long, Ligori's spot in the pitching rotation has become even more significant. It'll be Garen Turner coming to the plate here. And a first pitch by Liguri after the pep talk from Cesare, as they call it, strike. No balls, one strike. That's off the plate. Somehow, the baseball press box has become an NBA playoff talk box. What's going on behind me here? That's a curveball inside, 2-1. Two balls, one strike. The 2-1 is a called strike on the outside corner. And it's 2-2. Runner at second as Roberts doubled of 2 outs. It's a 3-2 lead for the Lions here in the top of the 7th. They have 3 runs on 3 hits. The Gothic Knights 2 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. Just missed, did Liguri. And the count is full. And unfortunately, I think the chances of Liguri seeing another inning of work are now over. He's over 110 pitches here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Eli Pereira maybe throw. That's hit towards second. Bourne takes 3 steps into the outfield grass and makes the catch. So Roberts is stranded at second after a 2-out double, 1 hit, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch in Game 2 in Jersey City. 3-2 TCNJ leads. Andrew Nish will lead off here in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch is low. Finally broke out of his slump with a line drive off of the glove of the first baseman that helped NJCU in the 5th inning score twice to tie the game. That's fouled away. The question, will it be enough to get Nish going again? 1 ball, 1 strike. Cirillo deals. That's line towards left field, and it's going to fall in for a base hit. Nish will have to be stopped at first. Maybe it is going to be enough, as now Nish with base hits in his last 2 at-bats, and he reaches with a leadoff single.
Number 9, CJ Pulsini.
And what's notable there is that Nish actually went the opposite way on that, and that's a good sign. That really means you're starting to see the ball again, instead of pulling it. That will bring up CJ Pulsini. That is outside, hauled in by the catcher, Fakis.
It's them in Atlanta, right? Them in it's gonna be a good series. It's crazy
1 ball,
Chance to get the number 1 overall pick.
no strikes.
Yeah. So they have the Nets first round.
There goes Niche. Ground ball. A hit and run there. At least we'll make sure that Niche goes into scoring position as the second baseman, Verone, quickly glanced at second base. But no chance he was going to get Niche there. Otherwise, that was a potential double play ball. So Pulsini's retired 4-3. And with Niche at second base, it'll bring up Taylor Bourne, who had the big pinch hit base hit that drove in the first run in the 5th. He's got a chance to tie the game here. And that's low. Niche cannot advance as the catcher is able to scoop it up. And 1 away. The 1-0 pitch coming by Cirillo. And Bourne fouls it away. It's 1-1. So I'm surrounded in the press box by our men's basketball power forward, Yuri Brutus, doing the camera. He's a Celtics fan, I've learned. You got Tyler Krichkowski, who hates the Warriors. I don't know why, but he hates the Warriors. The 1-1 pitch. Inside, it's 2-1. I have no idea what team Sean Gibney likes. He's a Nets fan. And my favorite professional basketball team is Duke. 2 balls and 1 strike. It probably could beat the Sixers. Ground ball slowly hit the third. Niche will have to hold up. Now he will advance on the throw to third. So a 5-3 ground out by Taylor Bourne. Niche advances on the throw. And that will bring up the center fielder, Dimitri Ruger, with a chance to tie the game. And of course, the Celtics would have the Nets draft pick because of that fantastic trade a couple years ago that brought the entire Celtics All-Star squad to Brooklyn for not very long. Ruger fouls that one off. That might go down as the worst trade in NBA history. At least for the Brooklyn Nets. How did you become a Nets fan there, Yuri? Celtics fan, Yuri. Ruger, will that fall in? And it will. A base hit to left field ties the game as Andrew Niche scores. And Dimitri Ruger goes the opposite way to tie it at 3-3. The 0-1 pitch was driven hard to left.
Celtics have 6 picks this draft. 6 picks. Now batting the right fielder, number 18, Joe Catino. 3 first rounders. Actually, 8 picks. I lied completely. I can't count. I'm so sorry. 3, 16, 22.
So Joe Catino batting .276 at the plate.
35.
Softball update, it's 10-5 Stockton in the top of the 6th. Catino fouls that one off.
Trade them. Celtics should trade them. The picks. Some of the you have 3 first rounders. Trade your last one and get like a first rounder next year. Because this draft's not that deep. Have 8 picks. It's not. It's weird to have 8 picks. They'll trade something. They have to.
We're back to first, and Ruger's in safely. Gothic Knights trying to do something they have not done since I was 12 years old. Beat TCNJ at home. That's low. I am 39 now.
No way. You're older than that.
1 ball and 1 strike. And that's line foul down the right field line. I don't know. Question: am I older than Tyler and Yuri combined? You're how old, Yuri? He's 18. How old are you, Tyler? What? Oh my! What's 21 plus 18?
31.
Oh man!
I'll be 22.
Look at that math right there.
I'll be 22.
Alex Weinstein's sitting in Florida right now,
He's not watching anymore. He left. He went to the beach.
and he's proud of the math skills displayed in this press box right now. Let's throw over to first, and Ruger's back in safely. Weinstein is probably not at the beach because it's 140 degrees and 98% humidity in Miami today. The 1-2 pitch. That's bounced past the first baseman. Not a good throw by Sorolla at all, and Ruger will take off on the error. That's what happens when you check too many times. Mistakes can happen. And instead of worrying about the batter Catino, now the Lions have bigger problems because a base hit would give the Gothic Knights the lead. That's actually not the weather forecast. But it's probably not that far off knowing the times I've been to Miami. The 1-2 pitch is low. Can you imagine if it really was like that? I mean, you're talking about Amazonian weather. You get a heat stroke going off your mail, yeah. The 2-2 pitch. Catino down the right field line. It's going to drift foul. We thank those of you who are watching our game right now on Gothic Vision. 3-3. Bottom of the eighth. Dimitri Ruger represents the go-ahead run. He's at second base. Ira Thor with you live in Jersey City at the Thomas M. Garrity Athletic Complex. TCNJ won our first game 4-0. Check swing. And they're saying he went around after the TCNJ dugout asks for a verification, and indeed, Catino did go around. So a check swing, strike 3. Ruger stranded at second base, I should say. Gothic Knights, they do score 1 to tie it. There are 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left. We head to the 8th in a 3-3 game. Back here, top of the 8th inning in a 3-3 game in Jersey City. And surprise, surprise, Ray Ligori is out there with 112 pitches thrown. to begin the 8th. First pitch to Schindler is a ball, and then a called strike on the inside corner. We mentioned this during the first game. That's low. The Lions have won the last 37 meetings between these teams, and in that time have outscored NJCU 270 to 73. That is high. The last win for NJCU in the series came in Ewing, April 16th, 1997. So that's 19 years ago today. That was a 7-4 win for NJCU. Schindler walks. The last home win in Jersey City. The schools had different names back then. Jersey City State and Trenton State College. Gothic Knights swept the doubleheader. Again, April 23rd, 1989. So Schindler walks. It'll bring up Christian, who's going to show bunt for the sacrifice attempt. And that's outside for ball 1. And the 1-0, dropping down a bunt. It's going to throw back to first in safely is Schindler. The Lions have won 8 games in a row. Their last loss, as that's popped in the air, Polsini dives into the backstop and makes the catch. Oh, what a fantastic play by C.J. Polsini, surrendering his body and his well-being to make the putout. So 1 away. Fantastic effort there by the transfer from Felician. They'll bring up Matt Fakis, who as a catcher probably appreciated that last play. He shows a bunt. Ligori will field it himself. The throw to first in time. So a 1-3 sack bunt. Schindler to second with 2 away. The go-ahead run in scoring position for Mike Follett, who came through with the go-ahead run in the 6th inning with an RBI triple that initially gave TCNJ a 3-2 lead. The Lions scored in the first 2 innings. They led 2-0. The Knights tied it with 2 in the 5th. That's hit down the left field line, but it's going to be foul. The Lions went back on top with a run on an RBI single. And that came in our last inning, the 7th. We are tied at 3. Ruger with the RBI single for the Gothic Knights in that last inning. That is fouled off. And I think C.J. Polsini took that one on the left shoulder. And you see here in the camera, if Yuri Brutus will do the honors, you can see that Polsini shaken up a little bit. But it's 0-2 here. Ligori, a strike away from getting out of this inning. The pitch, that's hit in the air, right field. Catino on the run, dives, and he cannot haul it in, and it's going to score a run. As Schindler scores, Catino Dovey laid out, could not make the catch. And an RBI double by Mike Follett. He gained a 4-3 lead. Now bring up Ben Verone. Nick Cesar's going to come out and have a chat with Ray Ligori. So after a first pitch, high ball to Ben Verone and a chat with the pitching coach Nick Cesar. Ligori now on the short side again. Six in the game, and the walks proven costly. Inside again. Four of the six walks have scored. That's low. Another walk was retired at the plate on a throw by Buchholz. The intentional walk was the lone one that did not try to score. 3-0 pitch, and that's a called strike. This will be the 130th pitch by Ligori. The 3-1. And that's ball four. So walk number 7. And it'll be John Rizzi. So Rizzi, the number 1 hitter in the order, and the 6th hitter in this inning. That's low. Oh, they called a strike. Another delayed call there. The 0-1 by Ligori. That's 1-1. Do some score updates in a moment here. Maybe we'll do that between innings. Lead for TCNJ. Ground ball should end it. Over the Bourne at second, and he throws to Berardi for out number 3. So the Lions strand 2, but they score once. They take the lead on an RBI single double to right by Follett. It's 4-3 as we head to the 8th. Taking a look at some scores. All right, so some scores from around the league, and we'll first give you the softball scores. Stockton, 7-5 on top of NJCU in softball. In baseball from around the league, Ramapo, number one team in the country, now on top of Rutgers Camden 2-1. Stockton is on. Wow, they are blowing out William Patterson in the sixth inning. It's 8-0 there. Montclair State now leads Rowan 5-2. And you got Rutgers Newark on the road in the fifth inning, leading Kane 7-3. New pitcher for TCNJ is going to be number 33, sophomore right-hander Matt Curry, 6'4", 225 pounds, out of Marlton, New Jersey, in Cherokee High School.
Number 13, Zach Buckholz.
Zach Buckholz, Nick Racino, Dan Berardi will be batting here for NJCU. And that's low. They call it a strike. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2. Check swing, foul ball. They're saying he did not go around, so it'll be ball 1-2. That's low. That's 2-2. And he checked it again. He did not go around. The 2-2. Ground ball. High hop over the glove of the third baseman for a base hit. As Buckholz gets the advantage of a hop off the infield there over Anderson's glove.
Now batting the left fielder, number 8, Nick Racino.
That'll bring up Nick Racino, the left fielder. That is a called strike. Do they risk it here and send Buckholz? Do they sacrifice with one of your best hitters at the plate, or you just play this straight? No balls, one strike. And now Racino's showing sacrifice. Up the first base line, and did you see Curry race off the mound there to kick that foul once it was in foul territory to make sure it did not roll back into fair territory, because that was dangerously close to actually hopping back over the line, the way that ball, the spin on that ball was. No balls, 2 strikes. Now the sacrifice is off. High. One ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball towards second, slowly hit. Won't be enough time for 2. Actually, the throw pulled him off the bag. So a throwing error
by the second baseman, pulling him off the bag.
Now batting the first
Unbelievable.
baseman, number 14, Dan Berardi.
Verone had been playing such good defense, but a fielder's choice there and an E4 throwing error. Dan Berardi will now come to the plate. Gothic Knights trail by 1. The tying run is at the plate. Ray Ligori's day will be done after 8 innings and approximately 130 pitches. Pitched very well, he allowed just 4 hits, but he's on the short side right now of a 4-3 decision. Can Dan Berardi, now sporting a beard, tie this one up? He's showing bunt. That's un-Berardi-like. Curry stepped off, trying to check Buchholz. That was the second error for TCNJ. The Gothic Knights have committed 2 errors. Another throw back to second, and diving in safely is Buchholz. So they're very concerned with this lead runner here. The potential tying run. Meanwhile, you got Dan Berardi at the plate. That is a called strike. I have the TCNJ bench press box. You might be able to hear them in the background egging on their pitcher. He's showing bunt, trying to sacrifice 2 runners in scoring position. That is high. And obviously the significance of that, if he's successful, is it would push the tying run to second. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning in a 4-3 game, TCNJ on top. Lions won the first game 4-0. The 1-1. Bunt, foul. And 1-2. Berardi now has to be straight away. No sacrifice attempt here. That's off the plate. Berardi in his last plate appearance was absolutely robbed. Fantastic play in left field by Follett. A running catch almost into the fence to rob Berardi of at least a double. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Buchholz, who advanced on a throwing error after a fielder's choice. He's at second. He represents the tying run. Nick Racino's at first. Low. And the count is full at 3-2 in what has turned out to be a really good game. So it'll be 3 balls and 2 strikes. Berardi hits in the air, down the left field line. It's going to be foul. And that one ended up, gosh, that ended up in the swamp area. Three balls and 2 strikes will do it again.
Berardi again deep down the left field line. It's hooking foul. That one also in the swamp. Some wetlands, obviously, if you're not familiar with the complex, behind the wall in left field that separates the water, the Newark Bay, from the dry land. 3-2. Curry deals. Swing and a miss. He wins the battle with Berardi. That is out number 1. Jeff Reineke will be the batter.
Now batting the third baseman, number 2, Jeff Reineke.
3 today. He's also struck out swinging and popped out to shortstop. Reineke had a single through the right side. And he did check swing at pitch number 1. So 0-1 with Racino at first. And Buckholz standing at second. Gothic Knights have had an advantage. It's a fastball on the outside corner. And now Curry is in front of Reineke, 0-2. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts by Curry. Now Andrew Nish, the batter. Andrew Nish was just 1 of 28 on the year in the NJAC. The Gothic Knights' top player, their captain, is broken out of it now. A single off of the glove of the first baseman. That came in the 5th inning. He scored. A single in the 7th to left. Opposite way, he scored again. He has scored twice today. He's 2 for 3. And that is a called strike on the outside corner. He's trying to time this. And the 0-1. Grounded up the first base side. Foul ball. And it's 0-2 to Nish. Curry gave up a leadoff single to Buckholz. Racino reached on a fielder's choice. Buckholz was safe on a throwing error. Then back-to-back strikeouts of Berardi and Reineke. And Nish behind 0-2 with the tying run at second base. Could this be the decisive play and the at-bat of the game? The 0-2. That's hit in the air to left field. Follett fades back and makes the catch. And the inning comes to a close. So Curry runs into danger, but he strands 2 on. And after 8 innings, it is still 4-3 TCNJ. 5th inning. Just kidding. 9th inning in Jersey City in a 4-3 game. Corey Nace, who pitched in relief in the last game, is the pitcher here. The first pitch to Anderson under the glove of a diving Reineke at third base. And that's going to be a base hit. He's going to wind up at second base. So a double down the left field line for Anderson. That ball hopped over the glove of Racino. And it'll bring up Roberts, the right fielder. He has a double, and he's 1 for 4. Two and 0. And he steals. That's outside, and it's 3 and 0 in a 1-run game. The Lions, that was just their 5th hit. That's ball 4. Roberts walks on 4 pitches. And Nace is going to have a short stint today. After giving up a double and a walk, he's going to be done. That's going to be it for Corey Nace. Anthony Carey will come on for the 2nd time today, and his 18th appearance of the year. Will be back after he warms up. So Anthony Carey is on again. 26 games. He's now pitched 19 of them. Drops down a bunt, does Turner. The sacrifice is effective 1 to 4. Pushes Roberts and Anderson to 2nd and 3rd.
Now batting the shortstop, number 19, Zachary Schindler.
1 away. Double play is now off, and Schindler, a shortstop, steps in. He's walked 3 times today, once intentionally and then unintentionally in the 6th and the 8th. He scored both times, and now they're going to walk him again. He also lined out in the 3rd when he actually had a chance to swing the bat. So he's going to walk for the 4th time. So Carey completes the intentional walk. In all, that is the 9th walk in this game by Gothic Knight pitching versus 1 strikeout. 7 of those have been unintentional. So Christian comes up with the bases loaded and 1 out. Forced now at any base. After a conversation between Pulsini and Carey, what will Carey do against Christian? And that's lined right up the middle. Diving was born. He couldn't knock it down. 2 runs will score. The throw was wild. I think Pulsini's hurt. I think he actually just might have pulled something. He's reaching for his back left hamstring, maybe his knee. But a first pitch to Christian up the middle for a base hit. Schindler goes to second. Roberts and Anderson both score, and the Lions have opened this lead up to 6-3. I guess Pulsini's all right. He's trying to tough it through this. Matt Fakis, the catcher, trying to add some more insurance runs for the Lions. There goes Schindler. Swing and a miss. Stolen base by Schindler. Christian will stay put. That's one of those things where you see your runner at second base take off. You swing no matter what. Try to protect him. Don't give the catcher any chance to have an easy throw. No balls, 1 strike. It is now 6-3. That was the 6th hit of the game for TCNJ. Popped in the air, foul. Reineke giving it a look. It's going to be over the dugout and out of play. The 0-2 pitch. Just a little low. Strike 3, looking on the curve in the outside corner. That's out number 2. That'll bring up Mike Follett, who's been the hero today. He's got a triple in the 6th, a double in the 8th. Both broke ties. He's 2 for 4, 2 extra base hits, and 2 runs in. First and third, 2 away. The Lions have scored twice here in the top of the 9th. And that may be insurmountable now for NJCU, trailing 6-3. First pitch was low. The 1-0. Ground ball through the right side of the infield for a base hit. Schindler scores, and it's 7-3. Followed is 3 for 4. Correction, 3 for 5, but now 3 RBIs. Ben Verone, the second baseman, hitting .338 steps to the plate. The Lions now well on their way to their 23rd win of the year. That's in the air, left field. Racino will settle underneath it and make the catch. And the inning comes to a close, but not before the Lions add 3 key insurance runs on 3 hits. They strand 2. Last chance for the Gothic Knights. They trail 7-3. Bottom of the 9th inning, last chance for the Gothic Knights. Pulsini is the batter. Thought he might be shaken up earlier. Looks like he's okay. First pitch was a called strike. That is low. That's low. It's 2-1. And Pulsini lines this to center, and that will fall in for a base hit on the 2-1 pitch. It'll be a pinch runner, and it'll be Sean Earhart.
Pitch running for the Knights, number 28, Sean Earhart. Now batting the second baseman, number 3, Taylor Bourne.
Taylor Bourne now at the plate. The Gothic Knights still trailing now 7-3. They have work to do. That's high. The 1-1. That's off the plate. They called a strike again. Delayed call here by Tom Beck. It's 1-2 now. Ruger's on deck. That's fouled off to our right. Count remains 1-2. One ball, two strikes. That's low. Ground ball towards the hole. Backhanded by Anderson. The throw gets away. Earhart heads to third. Bourne to second on the throwing error. So Bourne reaches on the E5 throwing error and advances on the error. And Earhart to third. So the Gothic Knights not done yet. Dimitri Ruger steps to the plate. Ruger has 2 hits today, including an RBI that tied the game in the 7th. That's a belt-high strike. No balls, 1 strike. Chopped foul. Time is granted. Curry is eligible for the save. He came on in the last inning when it was a 4-3 lead. And now the lead is blown up to 4 runs, but that is outside. It's 1-2. Nobody out. Bottom of the 9th, 7-3 Lions lead NJCU. The Knights with 10 runs on 7 hits. That is low, and the count now even at 2-2 with Joe Catino on deck. And that's lined through the left side for a base hit. That will score Earhart. Bourne will stop at third. It's an RBI single for Dimitri Ruger, and the tying run will now come to the plate. It's 7-4.
Now batting the right fielder, number 18, Joe Catino.
Joe Catino at the plate. 11th hit for the Gothic Knights. Fastball called strike right down the middle. Catino single in the 5th, so he's 1 for 4. That is rolled to third. For a double play. No RBI. Bourne does score. So Catino, a 5.43 GDP. Ruger's retired. Bourne scores. And nothing is earned in this inning. Gothic Knights do get a little closer. It is now 7-5 as Bourne scores. Zach Buchholz just needs to get on now for Nick Racino. And how big are those 3 runs in the top of this inning now? That's the difference in this game. Otherwise, the Gothic Knights just won it. instead of a 5-4 win. That's now a 7-5 deficit. Ground ball to third. This could do it. Anderson's throw is in time, and the ball game is over, and TCNJ has swept NJCU today, winning Game 1 4-0 and the nightcap by a score of 7-5. In the ninth inning today for the Gothic Knights, 2 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error and nobody left on. Your final score in Game 2 today, it was TCNJ 7 runs, 7 hits, and 3 errors. NJCU 5 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors. With the wins today, the Lions improved to 23-4 in the year, 8-2 in the NJAC. The Gothic Knights are now 13-13 overall. NJCU baseball is back in action tomorrow morning in Glassboro, New Jersey. A makeup of last week's rainout with Rowan. It'll be a doubleheader against the Profs. The next home game is Tuesday, April 19th at 3:30, a non-conference game when the Gothic Knights host Penn State Abington. We thank you for your attendance today. So that will do it here in Game 2 as the Lions sweep NJCU 7-5 after winning the first game 4-0. We'll be back in the air on Tuesday when the Knights take on Penn State Abington. We thank you for watching today's broadcast of NJCU doubleheader baseball. The Gothic Knights now in a rut. They've lost 7 in a row. They're 13-13 overall. They're 0-8 in the league. Very disappointing last week after such a great start to the season. We'll speak to you on Tuesday for more Gothic Knight baseball. Until then, on behalf of everyone at NJCU Athletics, I'm Ira Thor. Thanks for watching today's broadcast. Be well, everybody.